In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debated warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. In the ring we stand tall, words of blades that never fall, debate like warriors brave. Every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited mind sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts clean. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena, there's no chance to escape the fight by law. Dive in deep and search for more. In the ring we stand tall, words are blades that never fall. Debate like warriors brave, every thought we give and save. Through the noise we cut clean, spirited minds sharp and keen. With a spark that lights the night, join us in this epic fight. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Buckle up and take your stance. In this arena there's no chance to escape the vibrant lore. Dive in deep and search for more. From heartfelt talks to fierce debates, we explore what fate creates. Side by side we seek the light. In the dark our minds ignite. Welcome to the Spartan Arena, where minds clash and thoughts gleam. In the heat of every word, truth and insight will be heard. Heard. Will be heard. Will be heard.
Spartans! What is your profession?
What is going on, everybody? We're back at it. Excuse me. We're back at another stream, another live, another night. Of course, you know where you're at. Sparta SQ Network, the best place to be at on a Tuesday night. Of course, I can't do this by myself. I gotta bring my little assistant in here. He's so little, Groot outgrew him. Of course, we're talking about.
Yes, bear paw. Bear paw. Yes,
Gotcha.
bear paw.
You think you got away from it?
Bear paw.
Yeah, turn your fucking camera on, bitch.
Bear paw.
Turn your camera on.
Sorry. How can someone who is 6 foot tall be little? Ladies and gentlemen,
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
slightly over 300 pounds. That's little? No. Like, come
It's
on.
an expressionist peach.
I know. But I'm too big to be little.
I don't give a shit. Some other things might be a little.
Yeah. To the TSA, they will look at you like, man, nothing little about this dude right here.
Yeah, my ass. You'd probably be, you consider you as luggage than anything.
Nah, they wouldn't trust me. I,
Trust
I
me.
have my fair share with TSA. They funny. Look at this
I have
big.
s- I have a funny
Look at
story
this.
about that
Look at
actually.
this big African water buffalo. Like, oh, I'm a water buffalo now. No problem. You come to my country and say that again. See what happens.
I actually have a funny story behind that. If you want to hear it really fast.
Go ahead.
So I was traveling back from Greece with my mom, right?
Hmm.
And we were going through. I just got my appendix removed. By the way, I was in a wheelchair at the time.
No wonder.
So I couldn't, walk or anything like that. So whatever, it is what it is. So as we go through the checkout, the
Hmm.
border patrol,
Hmm.
our passport, everything's fine. So they said my mom says, "Come here, open the bag." My mom opens the bag. What do you think they find in there?
Food.
Not only food. Hey Eric, what's going on? So it wasn't just food.
Medicine. Stuff like that.
It was a frozen rabbit, actually.
What do I have? Mm.
Yeah, we had
That,
two.
that's still food. Under food category.
Yeah. But I thought you meant fresh food. So he takes his knife out, he pokes it. He look at his partner and go, "It's frozen." My mother starts talking in Greek, and these guys didn't understand any Greek. He goes, "You son of a bitch! I hope you fucking choke on it." He thinks he's gonna take it for himself. So what he does, takes it and puts it in a bag, wraps it up, and ties it up, and hands it to my mom. Goes, "Here you go. Have a good day." My mom goes, "Run before this motherfucker changes his mind." You didn't get the punchline that you got. Yeah.
I get the punchline. Trust me. That was a policy that later on got changed, but it was more toward to people coming from Africa. You guys got lucky. Reason why my mom and my dad used to abuse the system whereby they bring all type of food item across the country, meaning AKA you can buy stuff, put in your luggage, you can buy yambu, all kind of things, put in the luggage. It would not be a problem. Later on they say no, you can't do that no more. I remember my last time coming to the US was back in 1997, and they found out
Mhm.
coming from Nigeria. So all of a sudden I they go to a search room.
You got Swiss church, didn't you?
I was searched like as if I were carrying drugs. I was like, what the? Nah, they didn't go that far.
Oh,
But
they were thinking about it probably.
I was giving a look like if we had to go down that route, then we fighting. So I had to pull my pants down, make sure I got nothing wrapped around me, and I'm looking at them like, what's all this for? Trying to find out. Anyone coming from Africa, a certain country, had to be heavily searched. They don't bring any narcotics. I was like, God damn, now we search it more. There's a long list of countries. have been put on that spotlight. We coming from X, Y, and Z, they're allowed to search you even further. I'm like, damn, no more food, no more food than anything, no
Hmm.
more. You can't even carry liquid no more under the plane.
Yeah, it really depends on the country you're coming from. Like you said, like Greece follows a pretty similar laws and rules to United States, so they don't really fuck with us as much.
I
Now,
know.
seeing somebody like your mug, yeah, they're fucking with you no matter what.
I
If you're
told
coming
you
from Africa
I'm a
or
big
Canada,
I'm a big fella. I know that. But the thing was, I was
I'm an
young.
ugly mug. I didn't say good. I
Now,
didn't mean a good thing.
now, if I'm going there, they're gonna look at me like all I do is mess with the head. What you jiggy with? Now I'm in trouble.
And then they just do this.
No, it a problem. They don't do that right now because we are having to say there's hostile water right now. Ladies and gentlemen,
you,
beside my country, a few African countries are now deporting United States citizens out. Let's say we're not having that. So there's beef.
I
So
do. One thing I will say, if you remember watching a movie called Lord of War or Warlord, yeah, Lord of War, it's called with Nicolas Cage.
I know
Funny thing, that's a true story. He was
it is.
smuggled
I watched
guns,
it. I watched it several
smuggled
times.
guns in your backwoods, bro. Your country, Africa.
No, it's more than just my country. There's about 15 other countries that have warlords that will pay hefty money.
Oh, I'm not
But
denying that, but the movie is based on your country. That's what I said.
it's not Nigeria only. It's Nigeria. There's Sierra Leone. There's Togo. Any other country that's still going ongoing with a little. I can't call it tribal war. It's more like militia war going on to this day. That's what's going on right now. Only issue is they trying to block the pathway into it. The only way they get into selling the guns are mostly from behind, from North Africa region. That's where the Middle East is at. So
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm not arguing on that. I'm just saying it came from your side of
Ni-
the world. That's what I'm saying.
Nigeria, they'll be more on the top of the north from other. Remember I told you there's other country next to the border of North Africa, so they come from that top side
Sure.
to smuggle. But they can't smuggle that in Nigeria because there's a law. If you get caught smuggling arms, that's the death sentence. You caught smuggling drugs, that's the death sentence.
In
They're
your country?
tapping. Yes, if you're smuggling arms, it's a death sentence. If you're smuggling drugs, it's a death sentence. They are mimicking what they saw Japan and some Asian country policy they were doing. They said that's the best way to scare people from doing it. So there's other African countries that have that same logic. If you catch smuggling arms or drugs, it's what it is.
Mhm.
So they're
So
not.
David,
It's funny.
so David, when I come up with the word one day or day one, what comes to your head?
It's like how you gonna put it. There are multiple meanings. Day one day, either first day of recovery, if you are going to alcoholism or drugs. First day from recovery from a surgery, or first day trying to start a new thing or a new chapter in your life. There's multiple meaning because when you say first day or day one, it applies to many sectors of issues in people's life. Remember that I say surgery. So some people going through a life-saving surgery and they had to start their life all over again from day one. We learn everything they need to do. Those who had alcoholism issue from drinking type of something, the method they were trying to do recovery, day one. And if you think about it, I see a lot for from people who are trying to be sober. They're counting their day each and every day.
Hmm.
That is something it's common with. Um, let me see what other they may use it for. Some people trying to change their image or they want to start something, turn their life around. That's it, and try to work the way. So it's It have many meaning depending on what path of life you're coming from. God forbid you're coming from a very grueling surgery that you have to train your body how to walk again, or how to grab, or how to do certain things. That's a different kind of day one. That will be stuck with you. Because you're not gonna forget it.
So I'm
If
more
you're coming
looking at it
from
towards the motivation side of it.
motivation, that'll be not it. Surgery, motivation day one. Let me overcome this. Yes. Motivation for overcoming alcoholism. Yes. Motivation to come in, of course, substance abuse. Yes. They're all considered motivation part. It's just how you take it.
Hmm.
When you've been around people who have been part of mental, physical therapy, they, Eric, you funny. It is something that you have to look at very different, or you're going through a life changing moment. When people say day one is day one to them. It's a new step. It's a new chapter. It's a new journey. How will I go about this? How would I push through? What tools would I have require of me to make this journey more fulfilling? Yeah, it's motivation, but at the same time, who do you have? What tool do you have for your motivation? That will be a long term question.
There's so many different ways to take this. You can take this to a way of day one was when you start your journey, and when day one day you started your journey, and day one was when you finished it and you started a new chapter in your life. And you need to keep pushing forward hard. You never giving up. Because a lot of people know how it's easy to give up. Let's be honest here, David. It's very easy to give up. To say
It
no, I'm
depends.
not giving up.
It depends what your journey is. Perfect example: weight loss. That's one of the easier
Who?
part. Weight loss journey. That's one of the most easier part to give up easily in most places
Hmm.
because it depends on where you at in your weight journey. Either you're trying to lose weight from 400, 500 pounds, and you got too many distractions, or it's something that the doctor but I told you because you went to a medical checkup and he tell you, oh, you're on the borderline of mobility to be. If you don't change this, and this will affect your health. And I worked in a hospital before as an IT guy in multiple department, and what I've been hearing a lot of times, that journey it can be tricky. Some people don't have the drive to go to their day one. Day one will end up be day half. Know how that happened? Okay, you leave the hospital. You drive, right? You know this very, very well, Peter. You see your favorite food joint. Well, I'll start my day one tomorrow.
I actually don't. I don't do that.
No, I don't think you do that. But I know you know that what people do more when they pass their favorite joint. Either be Popeyes, Wendy's, IHOP, whatever it was your food trigger that got you thinking, I could perform my day one at a time. That happens.
Usually,
It a lot.
to me, is not weight loss. Actually, that's the sticking on a diet is easy. Is actually be able to stick to diet at work for me is the hard part. Because as a chef, you're always chasing the food. You know what I'm saying?
I get your point from your line of work. That's totally understandable. That's very, very understandable.
Yeah.
Now, I can also apply it also based on where you work at.
Yeah, that has a lot to do with it. Before you move on, let's get Alicia in here. Alicia, what's going on?
Hey, how are you guys?
We're here.
Okay, I hear ya. I know. Sorry I'm late. I had some problems with my son.
What did Tyler do this time?
No, he just, I don't even know how to explain it. Does David have teenage sons or daughters?
He's a father, a grandfather, and a great grandfather.
Okay.
Time out. Time out.
So
I got a 15-year-old son, 13-year-old daughter, and I got three grandkids. I don't have a great grandkid. I'm not that old.
Yeah, you
that's
are.
right.
No, but that's on Moses, aka our pain. You know,
I
he's
didn't
not
He
here
pay
to
doesn't
attention
know
to
who
celebrate.
our
that.
pain is.
He doesn't know who
Right.
our pain is?
Yeah, you don't know who our pain is.
We make fun of him, call him Moses. He's been here from day one.
Oh,
He's one of our fellow co-streamers who jumps in once around here, but
okay.
he's usually on his own stuff.
Hey, Mr.
Okay.
King, how you doing?
Well, we got a importer here right now, all the way from
Really,
Japan.
really, importer,
Yeah, it's
really,
happening.
Hmm.
Hey, I gotta make
importer,
some fun of joke. Hey, did you get permission
King.
from on the
Tell,
train?
tell him, tell him his joke is whack.
Yeah. Did you get? You ever get like a green card or permission to listen in when you're overseas?
What? That's different. They got a better
It's a
over
joke.
here. Yeah.
Yeah, David, your camera's blurry, by the way. Yeah. All right, Alicia, go ahead, hon.
Oh no, I was just saying if David understands the attitude that comes along with teenagers. Mm-mm.
Trust me, I've been doing that for many, many
Yep.
years. After father,
Yep.
But
after
that's a
uncle.
difference between you, David, and Alicia, because it is different because the difference is you and your ex raised them together, correct?
Hmm.
She's doing it by herself. That's one.
I know. When I tell you after uncle keyword, I had a lot of aunt who were single mom, and I had to step in. Now,
Right.
I was the boogeyman. I was the one that you call that come unannounced, go straight to your kid's room. If he's a boy, I was a little bit too strong, grab him by the ankle, hold him upside down. I said, "Why is your mom calling me over here for you?" And if you got a sister, she giggling. She know, oh, you busted. Uncle David
Yeah.
gonna get you. And I gotta threaten the boy. I said, the next time your mom call me here one more time because of you, what should I do to you? You were telling me nothing. I almost dropped at the wrong answer. Sister was laughing. I was like, this sister is
Mm-hmm.
evil. I said, the next time I come, go to the DJ, drop him off. I tell her, yes. I look at his sister and tell her, if he act up again, you call me. She was like, yeah, yeah. In my head, I was like,
Yeah.
oh my God. Sibling
I get
rivalry.
it.
101.
David, let me ask you a
And
quick
that,
question before we move on with the show. I want to get back on topic. Did you ever had to use corporal punishment with your kids?
A couple of times. But
hmm
I realize in this generation right now, corporate country don't really works anymore.
Alicia, can I put your business out a little bit out there?
Go ahead. Yeah.
She's scared to use corporal punishment because she thinks her son's going to go to call the child support on her or child services, whatever it's
No,
called.
the reason why behind it, and I hate to say this, but as a
Oh,
parent, I want you to
she's right. I'm not denying that. She's
I
right.
know, but I want
100%.
you to hear this why I say it's kind of hard to do it because when your son have friends who speak on a lot of things in the classroom, talk about how they do X, Y, Z, they will mimic what their peers tell them. And the United States policy that restrict corporal punishment make it harder. Some states are now pushing back. That's more on the southern side of the
Yeah.
country. But up north, up here, New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, it used to be a thing back in the 80s. I remember a police officer tell my mom if I step out of line, whoop my ass.
hmm
Now, the cop can't even tell you to do that anymore. They just can't.
Right.
So there's
No.
a lot of changes. So I understand being a parent and you have a teenager, it can be stressful. But the problem is, I think, it's based on what policy, what type of mindset do you raise your kid under?
Yeah. So like,
And that's where I think you need to look at because I
yeah.
remember
Because
Peter know that we did a bunch of shows on the Black Men on Filter Network about parenting, and we realized
It was co-streamed
sometimes
between them and us. I remember that. It was in the gray
I
area.
know,
about
And
corporal
now,
punishment.
but not just that,
Alicia
but
and
not just that. Other shows concerning how the present generation are influencing our kids, and we realize we sometimes we drop the ball on blocking things out in our home or laying a ground rule so that the word consistency. When you're not consistent with your philosophy in your home, you end up flip flopping by accident. They take advantage of it because some ethnic group they don't play around. They don't care. They get locked up. They let them know. You want to
Right.
call the cop? Yeah. Before you call the cop, you take my fat leather belt. I'm like, they don't care. They let their child know. You want to call the cop? Good. I'll give them to call the cop for. And they're consistent with it. That's why some kid had that fear of their parent. Some kid will to push it and see if they can have a vantage
Mm-hmm.
point, which turn out is not a good thing. So it's this
I
generation
agree.
very, very, very tricky. So I would suggest you as a parent, you have to be consistent with your philosophy, what you believe in your own household. You cannot be too easy to be swayed or overlooked. I'll just let this one slide. I don't. In my household, my kids, I told Peter every time I have a motto in my house. Daddy mean business. I'm not changing it. I know it's hard in this present society, but if you don't be that parent that is consistent with your foundation, it's easy for them to sway either to the left or the right and make your life much harder. I'm not gonna lie,
Mm-hmm.
single parent got it harder than both parents.
so here's the thing, really fast, and we get back on topic.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had to use corporal punishment with my kids and they call it child services,
Mm-hmm.
that's fine. But two things might happen. This is probably what child services is going to hear, and then I'll make the. You can take the little fucker with you and see how he likes being with somebody else, like Juby or something like that. And that's the problem we're having. I think is we are
But
so scared to discipline our own kids, and we can get away with murder. You know what I'm saying?
right, I could say, yeah, I could say a lot more about that too, but I'm sure that could be another show.
Yeah, we
'Cause I
can
don't
do
want to
another
take
show
up.
on that.
Yeah, I
You
don't
But
wanna
want to take
lose
up.
you wanna lose your gun on your kid like that? Okay,
no, not
sir.
on the kids. On the
And
freaking child
yeah,
services that we used it on.
the worker.
You forget how crazy I am, right?
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry for my co-host. He thought he's still in Russia. So we're not in Russia. We know in the United States. We in
You guys, first of all,
USA,
fuck you, David. You
not
know I'm joking,
not USSR. Pun
asshole. You
intended.
know I'm fucking joking. Number one. All right. I'll laugh if you see breaks.
I knew right
Yeah.
away what he was
Hey, Wally,
saying.
what's going on, my man?
I know him.
All right. So
Thank you, Wally. Thank you.
let's really get seriously. Get back on topic. We wasted way too much time on this.
Yeah.
Day one or I always get this confused. One day or day one. What does come to your head when you hear that?
So I actually did listen to some of what David was saying, and there's part of it I agree with. Some people, it has to be one day at a time. They're just not ready for that day one. Like clients that I serve, we do one day at a time because it's too much. It's too overwhelming for them to think of it as one day I start here and then what? And then the next day I do what? We have to start them with small, small goals. So, like one day at a time here. Do this today, wake up tomorrow, do a little something more. That's how I have to treat my clients.
Hmm. All right. All right, guys. I got a video I want you guys to watch really fast, and we're gonna get back on the subject. This conversation once we're done with this fun freaking thing. I have so many open here. Alicia, before I play this video, to me, you have to promise me one thing.
Hmm.
You won't drool on this guy.
Oh
Yeah.
God, here we go. Oh
Yeah, he's
Lord.
not my type.
All right, guys, ready?
The quote goes like this: one day
Mhm.
or day one. One day or day one. I'll do it one day. Okay, that's up to you. Or day one. The quote goes like this:
I get,
Mhm.
I get that part. That's more related to his journey where he at right now because if anybody who know The Rock when he was leaving WWE, he wasn't that big and buff. He was more in a transition. He was
Scrawny.
more. I can't say strongly. Like most wrestlers who
Scrawny for the wrestling field.
he wasn't strong for the wrestler field. He was.
He was
I
pretty
can't.
small for a wrestler.
No, he wasn't small. He just he his fatigue was almost how I want to call it. I don't want to be disrespectful, but was undercover chubby. If you think about it, he had to look like a bit like he was getting there, but anybody who got into weightlifting and bodybuilding, trying to play, they could tell you you can almost fake it as much as you can, but you didn't have the fatigue, or the strength. Which later on, when he left WWE and got into the movie business and realized somewhere one to bulk up, he started his day around that time. But while he was in WWE, he wasn't trying to be Triple H whip or all the thing, but he was okay for someone who came out from the background from playing football. He still has certain shape, but we all know, and when we play football, who done weightlifting and body, but we tell that's you're on the borderline from being chubby or husky. And he played his figure a little bit well, which no one catch on unless you're in that area. So I did never seen a video of him pushing weight until after he came back from Hollywood. You ever notice that? Most wrestlers you see, they'll show them when they come on TV. You show them, they're working out, doing all that. The Rock, not once you ever seen The Rock done a video that he was getting prepared for that thing. I know Foster noticed that. Other wrestlers would always Triple H, you'll see him doing all that extra stuff. But The Rock was playing off. And I kept quiet. I was like, this guy's slick. Because he knows, especially because of his family background, Vince McMahon let certain things slide. But other wrestlers, oh, you don't got the build. That's another conversation.
At least before you go, let me get this guy in here. Wally, what's going on, my man?
That will never catch on.
I love doing it to you guys. Oh, at least don't worry. Yours coming soon. I gotta find one for
Oh,
you.
great. I don't want to know
Actually,
what's
I
going to
think
be.
this will be yours.
What? What
And
would be the reason behind that?
it's
I
no
think
reason.
the FBI need to take your soundboard from you for evidence.
Fuck off, dude.
Evidence.
Wally, what's going on, dude? How are you tonight?
All right. For evidence. Okay, this sounds very trifling.
See, my own team's gonna be is having me in the back already. Before Alicia
Well,
goes
no,
on,
because you said for evidence. So technically, I'm over here saying, well, what do you mean evidence? That's trifling. You're putting a facade.
but remember, if you guys get caught, if I get caught, I'm taking you guys with me. Conspiracy theory.
He's the one that said it, not me. So yeah, I'm not going to talk about putting
Anyway, we got on this Wally talk.
Wow, well, I thought you got my side.
I don't got no one's side. I'm only saying, what do you mean by evidence? That's what I was asking you for.
No worries.
It's gonna be one of those shows. I already know it. It's gonna be one of those fucking shows tonight.
You asked us both on the panel, so.
All right, Wally, go ahead. What you got on this, brother?
Okay, where you want me to start on?
Wherever. It's up to you, brother.
Okay, well, if I'm hitting on from the clip, basically what he was saying, I'll do it one day or day one. Pretty much, it's like I guess the statement is sort of like psychology, right? Like one day, like you say, one day I'm gonna, but it never comes. And then there's day one. Well, hey, everything's a process. So you just take it day by day. So yeah, I'll start off like that.
I'll take it. What about the video? What do you think about that? What he's saying?
Oh no, that was what I was saying about the video.
Oh, my bad. Alicia, you're up. What you got?
So I think it depends on like basically your frame of mind, because basically I felt both of those things. Like
Mhm.
especially going through all this cancer stuff. When I'm feeling good about myself, I feel like I could say day one, I'm ready to take this on and fight this. But then when I'm not feeling very good, like my mindset is just off and I'm just very overwhelmed with things, I'm like, one day, one day I'll get up again. So it really like just reflects on myself, how I'm feeling. Like if I have that motivation, then I'm ready for day one.
The question is, how do you get motivation? No, I'm not talking about you, Alicia. I'm talking about everybody in the group tonight. Some people need to hear videos. Some people need to look in the mirror. Me personally, my motivation when people tell me I can't do something. If you sit there and tell me I can't do something, and you know me pretty well, Alicia, I think by now.
That's why I'm laughing about it. I'm like, yep.
David knows me pretty well too, and Wally too. All three of you knuckleheads know me pretty well. David, if you told me if I cannot do something, what am I going to do? Oh shit, you're muted. My bad. That's my fault. You're
See, that's what I'm saying. The dream board is evidence. He
no, that was
told
actually restream.
he's trigger
Anyway,
happy.
I swear to God, I'm going to slap you tonight. David, go ahead.
Anyway, how I want to put this. If you tell him he can't do anything, he'll take it out as a challenge. Oh, you trying to tell me I can't do it? I got you. I'm gonna prove you wrong. Now I'm almost
Mhm.
similar, but I'm more on the vicious side. Which is a true story. It happened to me a few times in past jobs. Where someone say I'm not gonna do more than 5 deployment this and that, and I took it as not only that China took as a vendetta. I'm not only I was a patch or number. I'm going to embarrass you. I'm going to ridicule. I'm going to demolish you. I'm going to sun you. And that is a back streak I have doing tech job. I want to make sure I cripple your voice box. In other words, in not in the physical sense, but in the psychological sense. Every time you see me, you get intimidated. Every time you see me, you realize that I'm out to make a life a living hell. Every time you see me, your peers laughing at you. That was the mindset I had. Because when people tell me, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that, and not only I outperform, I outshine them, they don't that I complain I'm making their job hard because I keep raising the bar too high. I'm like, no, it's not high enough. When it's so high, you're on your tippy toes. How about that? And that lead to my disadvantage. I'll end up doing a 4-man workload or maybe a 5-man workload by myself and just make that the exercise. Even though it's not really detrimental me doing that in some work environment, but I want to prove a point. You're not on my level. You would never be on my level. Don't even think you'll be on my level. Because if you try to, I'm going to sun you. So there's certain people who take it different ways. He's like a challenge. Mine more vendetta. I'm out to destroy the competition. I'm out to make sure the next time you open your mouth and say something do like that to me, you're gonna regret it. That kind of thing. Am I correct?
Close, but not exactly. So when it comes to me with people telling me not to do something, be able to do something, I just get a kick of proving people wrong. I just get a kick out of it. And I see in their mouths drop to the ground. It's funny to me. I know it's a sick joke, but it is. Because not only I prove something to myself I can do it, I prove them wrong. and I'll pass every obstacle ahead of me, and things people think I cannot do, I do it. The only thing that always holding you back is you. You are the worst enemy. The thing that is breathing down your neck is you. The thing is telling you hit the snooze button again is you. The thing is telling you you're a failure is you. That's it. Nobody else telling you to fail but yourself. What, you got anything on this, bud? What do you
Well,
think?
as far as yeah, no, I mean, as far as the mindset of just when it comes to like people doubting you, I mean, yeah, no, I think I agree with both. It's like, yeah, you can definitely like when it comes to certain people telling you can't do something, is always the challenge of proving otherwise. But I think
Mhm.
also, in a sense of also looking at it from a standpoint of if you also, I mean, yeah, you can definitely be your own worst enemy. But I mean, in some cases, are you your worst enemy because that's what it is, or are you worst enemy because you literally have that doubt? See, in some cases, some of us we have to literally have that truth factor within ourselves to say, "Hey, I failed here. It is what it is." And in other formats, you saying you failed, but reality you haven't. I know this for sure because one of my first YouTube channels that I did, right, that eventually I'll be deleting eventually, right. I would say I failed on that. Don't worry about it. But I would say I failed on that. But the way I failed on it wasn't the way I thought I did after re-looking at something. And it just made me realize I failed in one area, but I didn't fail in another. I just didn't realize until, so I started looking over it, which then made me realize, okay, I'm approaching this differently. Not the way I should have, but the way so now I'm like, okay, I could take that win and say, I can look at this as positive and then take the negative and then realize what I was wrong on and where I need to fix some things and then move on. And that's good.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's always good for self-reflection.
So I agree with everybody's opinion here. None of these opinions are wrong, actually. All of them are right in the same way. Does that make sense? Does it?
Yeah, I think it does.
What about you
Because
guys?
I get everybody else what they're saying.
Hmm.
I agree.
I believe so. Uh-oh, not this.
Oh, yes. All right, let's put the next video really fast. Um,
That's more like a journey.
the reason I played that, I want to ask you guys a question now. After watching this, what is one thing all of them have in common?
They were
Well,
consistent on the journey.
That's one. Go ahead. Go ahead, Wally.
um, they all came from a certain place. Like, everyone comes from a humble beginning, and then they end up raising to a higher state that no one ever think they would ever have came to.
Good. Alicia?
They all kept going.
Everybody had a day one. Start somewhere.
Hmm.
Someone was soccer, someone was in a ring, someone was just street bowling, someone was just playing basketball, whatever it was. They all had to start from somewhere. And they look back at that and look back like, holy shit. I use our channel, for example. If you go back and see one of our first couple of streams, they were pretty bad. Let's be honest here. David, if you nod your head, I swear to God, I'll make you choke that. And good boy. So looking back from what that was until now, it's a huge difference, night and day, where we came from. Like that goes with one of my questions tonight. It's gonna be, what is it? What is it? Blah, 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 blah. Let's try this again. If I can speak English, what is the difference between dreaming and doing, and how can we shift that to reality? Go ahead, David. I'm sorry. Why do you
Dreaming.
want to go first?
Why do you want to go
No, I
first?
think
Or I
David
go?
already got. No, I think David already has his mind rolling.
No, go ahead.
Dreaming. We see this part of dreaming so much on the YouTube street. So many people are acting as if they are the top goat. They're the 1%ers. But all they do is acting. They don't have the ability to show it. There's nothing wrong with dreaming. But staying on dream mode for far too long and not then convert from dream mode to actual work mode, that's the problem. There's nothing wrong with having a dream or having a focal point when they achieve, but if you are allergic to doing the hard work, then you remain at the dream. Wally and I can tell we watch a lot of people who lack the work ethic and put in their effort to get where they want to get in life looking for a shortcut. But they see someone who put in the work, who first dreamed and put in the work, and after they got there, you have nothing but haters. And they were trying to either dock you or shame you or tear you down, but they don't like the fact that you were consistent at what you were doing.
Hold on. Hold on.
And that it's a harsh reality, not only in the YouTube, but in every arena. We know we have people who hate those who were able to put their dream into perspective and do the work to get there. Because they were dreamers, but they didn't have the discipline to put in the effort. So for you to accomplish your dream, it's a taboo to them. That's my thought process. Wally?
All right, you said what is? Okay, what was the question again?
What is the difference between dreaming and doing, and how can you shift that to reality?
All right, so dreaming. So for most people, most people idolize dreaming as some visuals that you see within your sleep, right? Or a concept of where you wish to be, right?
Mhm.
Within your livelihood, right? But the thing is with dreaming, like pretty much what David said is it's only a dream if you don't put it in practice. This is where doing comes into play, right? Because this is where the proactionary part comes in of actually making it legitimate, where you take those steps, you do the research, you plan things out. If this is your dream, you have to make it a reality. But the biggest things when it comes to dreaming and doing, the thin line is those that you think are there to support you or help you along the way, those will be the ones that will deny you that dream, because it's always best to be safe in what was the word I'm looking for? In what's the word I'm looking for? It's always to be safe in a than to be safe in someone else's, than to be safe in your own ideals. Let me say that, right? Because at the end of the day, let's be real. If you told someone today you had a dream, someone close to you, and they sort of laughed at it or they say you're a fool, understand they're just not for you, right? These people are just not for you. And the sad thing is, most of these people that are not for you are sometimes your closest friends. They're even sometimes your family. And the thing is, you know what? Once you realize this, when you talk about fighting for a dream, fighting for your ideal, this is the where it becomes the hardest part, because this is the reality that you have to realize. This is gonna start to open your eyes to a lot of things. It's gonna start opening your eyes who's with you. It's gonna start opening your eyes who's against you. And that journey is where it all starts. And sometimes it's gonna be the roughest. but it'll be the greatest thing that ever happened to you.
Alicia, you're up.
Oh, yes. So, yeah, I agree with them. Again, dreaming, you could have a million dreams, but unless you're actually doing the part, like doing the action, you're not going to get anywhere by just dreaming. You have to actually put action into it and do it. It's almost like I could dream that my cancer goes away, but unless I'm doing something about it, nothing's going to happen for me. Like I got to get up, I got to do stuff for anything. This goes for anybody. You have to make it happen in order for um it to come true. We all have dreams, but we're not going to get anywhere by just dreaming it. We got to work hard to get it done.
So, what do you think makes people get stuck on day one mindset, and they don't want to start the journey?
I will have to take a quote somebody said from an elder. Easy time make weak people, but hard time make strong people. A couple of our YouTube elders have mentioned that, and that hit home heavy. That some people don't have the discipline to move past day one because they don't have the work ethic built into them by those who are before them. There are some who had it easy. They felt like you put a hand on the silver platter, or make it work on a platinum platter. Not today's society. I can honestly say this is a society who is allergic to hard work. People are too damn entitled for what dumb, illogical, uneducated reason. That's my thought process.
Wally, you want to go next?
All right. So what was the question again? Just
Oh, let me run those back up. Sorry about that. What do you think people get stuck on day one mindset?
Okay. The question is, why do people get stuck on day one mindset?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So a little bit. It goes back to a little bit what I said earlier. Is that cautionary tale of support. I think sometimes when it comes to starting day one, whatever it is, right? It may be your goal to lose weight. It may be however it is, whatever you're trying to take up, right? It's always that where is your state of mind towards it? If it's like you're feeling anxiety, going into the gym and being around other people, maybe it's fear of how you may be judged or how you may be looked or seen, or however it is amongst anything else you're doing, right? Because in most cases, in some formalities, depending on what you're doing and whatever you're trying to reach as a dream, either a dream body or a dream project or whatever, it's always that idea of you don't believe in yourself, which is pretty much your worst enemy, right? You're that shadow that's constantly telling yourself you can't do this, why you're here, why you're bothering. Do you not know you're embarrassing yourself? Something, whatever is in your head, whatever is constantly making you feel negative about yourself, that doesn't want you to leave plot A to go to plot B. Because as we all know, you heard this very popular phrase: with every level, there's a new devil. And if you haven't been able to defeat stage A, how can you get to B? You can't beat B, how can you get to C? You can't beat C, how can you get to D? Right? And just like, so when you think about those things, if you're already not quote unquote confident, there's no drive, there's no desire, if you're not already truly positive about making that step, you're always stuck. So, that right there is that cautionary thing right there that sort of defeats people on day one from ever doing anything.
Alicia?
I can say I actually know, especially in the especially in the younger generation, like kids today, like I have nieces and nephews, they think day one is going to be easy. And then they just stop when they find out it isn't because they want everything to be easy. So, especially in that generation, they're giving up on day one. It's sad. I see it all the time now. Nieces and nephews, people I've been involved in work settings with, nobody wants to push themselves to go past that day one. And if you do want to get past that day one, you need to have that mindset that you want to do it. You want to put more effort and practice into it. And again, it's a lot to do with that mindset. If you don't have that mindset to keep going, you're giving up on day one.
Okay. I think you need to come in with a mindset of a killer mentality almost. Because if you go in a mindset you're gonna fail, you're gonna fail. I believe you get two roads in ahead of you. The easy road that oh, this is gonna be easy, walk, whatever, and the hard road. But the hard road, you get more reward in the end. But it's not for the weak heart. You have to push forward and hard that way. So which road do you take? I'll take the hard road. I prefer going through the bridges, burn roads, the obstacles, whatever. But because I know the outcome, I'd be a lot stronger if I took the other road. So if I conquer this road, I can conquer anything comes my way. Does that make sense?
Yes, I'll even flip it by saying this.
Go
I'd
ahead.
rather choose option B than choose option A because if I already experienced option B and then live in option A, I really will never lose option B because even if I were to end up in option B again, I know what it means to be there. Now, if someone lives in option A and goes through option A and ends up in option B, they do not know what to do with themselves.
Mhm.
They have a longer road ahead of them.
All right, before we move on, let's welcome Mariana to the panel. Wrong button. Hey, hang on. I hit the wrong button. Hey, there we go. Dave, don't make a comment. I know you got a smart comment to say.
Hello, everyone.
How's it going?
Hi.
It's
So,
going
Mariana,
well.
you been listening to our conversation so far?
Um, Not as much. I was just drive. I just got here just now, so I do
Okay.
apologize on my end.
No, don't be sorry to do it again, but don't be apologizing. So the conversation today is day one or day 1 day or day one. I keep getting that twisted today.
You tongue heavy. That's the problem.
Day
There's a
one
talk in there.
or one day.
Wh- 1 day or day one.
I would say day one.
Why?
Like why? Day
Mhm.
one, that's when you first start whatever it is, what you want to start, what your goal is. And then, you have to be consistent and persistent to keep going. I will not
Mhm.
say um one day, but I would say day one to start whatever it is you want to accomplish. If it's going, let's if you want to, I don't know, get a degree in a specific, you know, whatever you want to learn and get certification. Like I will say, I remember I used to vent at my siblings. I say, listen, I've been telling you this since day one. I don't want to be bought. I want to focus on my studies. I don't want to be, but I remember when I used to say, and they mocked, but I realized, okay, this girl is serious. You need to back away. When you want to focus on something, nobody can tell you anything. If you want to achieve whatever it is, that's what I consider day one. keep going, keep thriving, and be consistent and persistent. Just moving forward. That's all. That sums up.
Okay. Um, I mean, you have a bunch of this conversation before about motivation and keep pushing, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna open up a little bit, put your business out there a little bit today. Today was your first day back into the gym, right?
Yes.
So today your day one.
Yes.
So Mariana, I'm gonna go even a step further because I want you to be accountable through in front of everybody today.
Mm-hmm.
David, Alicia, Wally, and whoever's all are streaming us.
Mm-hmm.
What is your biggest downfall when it comes to the gym?
Biggest downfall?
Mm-hmm.
Uh feel intimidated by other people. Like it's hard, but okay, you have these your thoughts. Do it or not do it. Like you have the good side and then you have the bad side. But then you have to
Like
force yourself.
Master Yoda used to say, "Do don't try, just do."
Yeah, just don't try those two. And then of course
And
I
I have told
was
you
yeah,
multiple times, everybody
yeah,
has starts somewhere.
yeah.
But your biggest issue is always giving up way too early
Mm-hmm.
because
Um with giving up too early, with not hell I basically make excuses,
Mhm.
and which doesn't do any good, but I use it. Today I was more like venting, getting my frustrations out. Like there was a lot of like the day was not going smooth. Okay, I will say it was a rough day at work. So I had to get it out at work. So um so that's the only way. If I say, you know what, if I since since the day was not going smooth, I say, let me get my frustration towards working out, just to sweat it out. And I sweat because I could feel the dread sweat on my back. I had to change my shirt before anything. Um, but yeah, I just kind of, like I say to myself, what the hell? What is makes me stop from not doing it? I just had to keep pushing forward. But I also have to like talk to myself. Do not give up on yourself. You only do this
Mhm.
for yourself, for nobody else to prove. You just have to prove you're
Yeah.
only yourself. That's it.
So before we move on, let's get this guy in here. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our president. Mr. President, how are you doing tonight?
For a moment, I
Working.
thought that was a.
You're working. How is the
Yeah,
top secret
all
project working with Skynet?
it's pretty intense today. You know, and like I said, now I'm just working on stuff that I'm supposed to be working on outside of the Skynet project. So this is gonna keep me up for a bit, but yeah, just still grinding. So
All right, you're my guru of motivation tonight. What do you have to say about this? And I'm
why
not
am I the guru?
eavesdropping
Why am I the guru?
because you're the one who's always motivated.
Uh, yeah, because I want to eat.
What just
So
happened here? Wait a minute.
Where the fuck did I get you from? I mean, I want to eat.
look, I mean, what else is there? I mean, look, I want to eat. I wanna, I want to live in my home. You had a lot of people who got flooded out. We had some major storms that came through New Jersey.
Yeah.
A lot of people lost everything. Um, and just looking at the pictures from home and everything. So, I mean, I remember watching something. It's like Chuck Noll used to coach the Pittsburgh Steelers. When he first came to the Steelers, they were an awful franchise. They were awful for 40 years. And one thing he said two things. First thing he said was, if I have to motivate you, then I'm firing you. Every player that he cut, most of the roster, only like a third of the roster when he got to the team, he was still there. after the first year. He said, if I got to motivate you, then I'm firing you. Because if you don't think it's, important to you to, to be able to have function, to be able to, support a family, if you have kids and you're still looking for motivation, uh, that's a problem. If you have a wife or if you have people who depend on you, if you need motivation, that's a problem. But even for your own self, if you don't have a certain level of motivation, that's a problem. If your health isn't important to you, that's a problem. So really, I think a lot of those things need to be addressed first before you even get to motivation. Motivation is almost like ground zero, but you have a lot of people operating in deficit, and until that gets resolved, it's going to be hard to go from, minus to making positive. Every once in a while, you'll get the one in a million, the guy who went from drug deal on the streets to being successful, or a drug addict and becoming successful. But for most people, it's like the game is rigged. It's like you go to Vegas and you put the money in. Yeah, somebody's got to win. Otherwise, somebody people wouldn't go. But they bet on the house that the house is going to win 95+% of the time. But again, if nobody plays, then you can't win. That loss is guaranteed. So I just look at motivation in terms of the things that are essential to you. What do you want? And what are you willing to do in order to make those things happen? I try not to overly simplify it, but I've been in environments where I've been in talks, I've been in seminars, I've been in all kinds of arenas talking about motivation and those sort of things. And I don't think, quite frankly, I don't think there's a definitive answer to that. The people who succeed do things that other people don't. What motivates them to do those things? It could be as simple as, I know that video you played earlier, The Rock, he just said his motivation, he was tired of being broke. When he got out of the CFL, he had less than $50 in his pocket. He had no real future or anything like that. And that was really where he decided to become a wrestler. His dad grew up in the wrestling business. He wasn't motivated to be a wrestler, but at the same time, he had limited options. He knew his football career was essentially over. He wasn't going to go to the NFL. And so he just decided to dedicate himself to wrestling, and kind of the rest is history after that. So uh, it's you know it's to me, it's not overly complicated. The only thing I will say is this, and I've said a lot already, but I think motivation is also limited in that I've seen people very motivated and get things done in certain areas but fail in others. Like all the time. You can be great in any particular subject, but you're terrible in something else. So people talk about discipline and all those things. There's certain areas of your life, depending on your motivation, depending on your aptitudes, depending on the feeling that you get from accomplishing that thing, you're going to be very motivated by. But then there's other areas of your life that is totally undisciplined. You're not motivated, and those things are the things that get you. How many successful people you know? How many of these entertainers? How many of these athletes? They're very motivated in that particular area, but they're very undisciplined in other aspects of their life, and that's ultimately what brings them down. You know, so I just think when it comes to this idea I'm to the point now. I don't know how to motivate people. I thought I could be like, yeah, but people think about, yeah, you should be a motivational coach or whatnot. I kind of play with the idea. I don't know if I know how to motivate people. All I can do is I just show my grind and what I do. And if people are motivated by that, then if they can get some inspiration, then that's it, so be it. But I don't know. People's hot buttons, people get turned on by the most obscene or ridiculous things. But if it's their wife, it's their kids, if it's their husband, if it's their whatever it is, it doesn't. You can give them all the speeches. You can sell them the Tony Robbins package. You know, go to a Tony Robbins seminar. Go to all the things that he offers. And for a lot of those people, the only motivation was just to be in that place, just to say, I went to a Tony Robbins seminar. Am I going to take what I got from this seminar and actually apply it to the areas of my life? A very small fraction of the people are going to be able to do that, but that's enough to then motivate people to come back the next year and it's almost like a lottery. Maybe this the year is the year that I get motivated um, to do something. So for me, so again, I keep very simple. Like I said, when it comes to training people, I can't motivate you. The only thing I can the only thing I will use as a tool of motivation is your own effort. And this is another thing. I talked about two things that Chuck Noll said. The first one was, if I have to motivate you, then I'm firing you. The second thing he did was, motivation is not about emotion, or at least not totally about emotion. It's not about a lot of rah rah type of stuff. Motivation is simply showing people how they can get better, seeing them get better, and then their desire to keep getting better. So what he did was, like, his main thing, he wasn't like a rah rah coach, he was a teacher. So he would teach players how to improve, and when they saw the improvements, again, for certain players, that was enough motivation for them to keep going. So, like, if I've had clients in the past, what motivated someone to come back is the workout progress. So, like, I would keep a sheet. I would keep a sheet like 10 weeks. So first of all, you had to be motivated enough to stick with it for 10 weeks. And if you were, then I would show you your progress over that 10 weeks on every level of every exercise that we did. And more times than not, the people had a 100% improvement in their overall strength or conditioning. 100%. So if they came in doing 100, after 10 weeks, they were doing 200. That was the only thing that I used, but it wasn't like I wasn't motivating them. I basically said, look, you did this. All I did was give you coaching and training in terms of how to do the movements and whatnot, and maybe gave you little, request of you to do one or two more reps that you wouldn't do on your own. But you're the one who did the reps. And then, so when I show them the progress, it's like, oh wow, let's keep going. That's it. I couldn't give them really anything else. And if they didn't want to keep going, or if they wanted to quit after that time, then I didn't try to do a whole lot to keep them staying. But I just wanted to show them that you're the one who put the effort in, and you got the result. For anybody who's looking to do anything, you put in the effort, and you get at least a result. Now you may not get every result, right? Like, my thing is, if you get more than half of what you shoot for, I'm good with that. You know what I mean? Like I said, when I was looking for a wife, I said, if I get 75, 80% of what I want, I'm good with that. I gave up on height. All right. My wife is 5'11". I wanted someone 5'2". I didn't get that. But you know what? I'll take the rest.
What
That's
is
another
going
thing.
on here?
David, you okay? You okay,
I have
David?
no
I'm
idea.
just shocked. I heard I'm looking for a wife for 5'2".
I
That's
wanted 5'2".
close to the
I
mid.
wanted my wife to look up at me. In heels, she's like right at my eye level. She's 5'11". I'm 6'3". So that was, so again. But you make compromise all the time. I think a lot of people, sometimes you're too hard on yourselves. Like, did basically whatever discipline you applied in that time, did you move from where you were to another point? If you did, I'm good with that. You know, but a lot of people, it's like, if I don't get everything I want, then I'm quitting. And that kind of all or nothing attitude. That's just a stupid way of doing things. Same with relationships. You don't get everything that you want. I was kind of clowning King and Michelle on their last live they did before they left. It's like, if you don't get everything that you want, the guy's got to be he's got to do so many other. Like I said, guys are simple, right? We want some basic things. Everything else is a negotiation. Sometimes with ladies, it's like, if there's one thing, if he's not checking all these boxes, then you're just going to throw away a decent guy because he didn't check off every box. You know what I mean?
AKA no abs.
I don't know what that means, but Well, yeah, I mean that, or just something personality. So again, he's a good guy. He's a provider. He's a he checks the basic body. He's a good man. How many times you would watch Kevin Samuels? You had women divorcing decent men. They were decent fathers to their children, but then you thought he wasn't ambitious enough, and you left him, and now you like, oh, well, I'm looking for a high value man or whatever. But again, what high value man would want to get with you because you basically left a good man? Why would me being a good man, or in your case, you used to call me a better man, why would I leave? Well, why would I get with you when you just threw away a good man? When do I then become not good enough for you, and then you gonna throw me away? That's how guys think. So for a lot of this stuff about motivation, success, or whatnot, it's like, can you be better off than you were before you started the process? And if you were, then I would say just keep going and try to do a little bit more. But outside of that, I don't have big, giant goals. People come to me talk about I want to be a millionaire, or people say I want big muscles, or I want to look like this. I'm like, I don't even mess with those people anymore because I'm just looking for somebody. Are you willing to show up next week? So again, just the original answer to your question, day one or one day, it's day one. Show up day one, then show up day two, and so on and so forth,
Hmm.
or week one and then week two, and let's just see what happens. And if you can see a positive change in your overall physique or your strength level or your mental and emotional state, then if you want to keep going, fine, I'm open. If you don't want to keep going, I'm good with that also. So again, I'm really not a motivator. I just try to show people from what I know how you can get certain results in all areas. But I'm not a guru at it. I don't get everything that I want out of life. But again, I'm like one of those guys. I'm good with 70%. You know, I'm not driving the ideal car, the ideal home, the whatever, but I'm good. I prefer living the good. I'm not going to let the perfect be the enemy of the good. And I'm going to appreciate what I have. And for some reason, the more I appreciate where I'm at and what I do have, I just, when things do come, I appreciate it even more.
And sometimes Paul, like what you have, because I've been in your house, I've seen your cars, I've seen your home, I've seen most of your family. Because I have met, I met one out of three girls, I believe, right?
Yeah,
No, I mean
I believe
none
so.
of the girls actually. I'm lying to you. I met zero of them. I met the future son-in-law. Um,
Okay.
so some people that's all they want, a quiet life. For some people, it might not be perfect, but it might be perfect for you or perfect for them or whoever the case is. Sometimes quiet is better. Some people say, "Oh, I wish that they had," like you said, you want the abs, the muscles, the big, the money, the hot chick, and everything. But sometimes that's not everything in life. Go ahead, David.
I'm not going to ask about the 5-2 preference, but for the people who come to Corbin about getting big muscle, did they think you're Dr. Miami, that you are transplant big muscle on them? Because we I'm saying that because you and I both understand fitness and weightlifting, big muscle. Did they even have the temperament to go through the ringing process to get big muscle? That is the question. Unless they want to take shortcut because Mr. Bennett, yes, he understands it very well. Big muscle is not all that it crack up to be. When you have big muscle, it can end up becoming a hindrance. I was one person who hated having too much big muscle because I felt like if I had big muscle, I'll start feeling and walk like a gorilla, even though I'm African. I don't like the feel of it. Yeah, it's a slap face moment. And the reason why I'm saying that, because when you're the guy who was brolic, and you're lifting the same weight class that most bodybuilders were doing in the gym, and they think you are a bodybuilder, but I wasn't a bodybuilder. You get pulled to that little routine. They want you to do the same time. I'm not doing the same thing. I'm lifting the same weight they have with more rep. I was trying to get strong, but I didn't want to have big muscle because I used to make fun of bodybuilders. They so huge they can't touch their back pocket. That was a joke.
Or
They're
their
so
arms are so
huge.
big they can't wipe their ass, kind of thing.
That's even worse. And that's my thing. So I don't get the big muscle concept because I was heavily debunked while I was in my own country. And I saw someone who didn't have big muscles. That was one. Who was beyond brolic. That's true. Was lifting 3 times more than what big muscle do cannot lift. And I bet he's more friend. That what changed my concept about strength. For example, everybody know the jelly can where you can put water in, right? Yeah, the 20 liter, 25
Hmm.
liter, and 50 liter. Most big muscle guy will struggle with a 50-liter jerry can full of water, right? Explain it to me how a guy who's smaller than me, I'm what, 300 pounds, he's about 195, 185, lifting 2 jerry can, 50-liter, one on his shoulder, one in his hand, and run up the staircase, skipping step like it was nothing, quickly in less than 10 minutes, and come back down. This was what I saw when I was a young teenager in Nigeria. He's not big muscle, everything, but slim stature, but brolic. When I saw that, it taught me something about strength and muscle. Not everything is big muscle, mean big strength. So when I hear with the benefit of client who's looking for a big muscle, I laugh. I'm like, this is not Looney Tune days.
And a lot of times,
So
yeah,
I'm
but a lot
thinking,
of times, a lot of
what?
that's coming from, again, it's coming from um, sometimes a hurt place. You know what I mean? Like I said, I just saw that movie I talked about on the Sunday show, Magazine Dreams. If you never saw it, it's
Mhm.
out now. It has the guy who was in Creed. He was in the uh, the Ant-Man movie recently, Jonathan Majors. And
Mm.
basically, I mean, I didn't like, it was an uncomfortable movie to watch. I won't lie to you. It's very uncomfortable. Basically seeing a guy spiraling out, and I think it painted a bad portrait of people will definitely take it and run with it in terms of this is what bodybuilders are and this is what they do, which is unfortunate. But
Mm.
you had a guy who went through a lot of trauma, and he had a lot of emotional issues, and certainly he threw himself wholly into bodybuilding. Um, and but it didn't solve the issue. You know what I'm saying? So the idea is like I said, I never present myself as one saying, okay, I'm going to give you big muscles. Basically, my goal is to get you stronger. That's the only thing I can guarantee you. I can make you stronger. Now, what you do with that added strength gain or how you feel from that added strength gain, that's totally up to you. But I find a lot of times it's not so much even about the strength that they get. It's more about what they have overcome in the process. And so for a lot of people, it's you know a lot of things that they say that they want in life: big muscles, money, cars, women, whatever it is. It's a mask for something else that's missing. And so if you're not going to be, uh, there's got to be while surely if you want to grind and get to certain places, there still has to be a certain amount of contentment in terms of who you are. Because again, like I said, we've seen very successful people take their own lives because it was never about what it was they were requiring. They were trying to basically use what they acquired to fill in something that was a lot deeper. And so, really, before a person says, well, I want to do this, I want to do that, really the conversation has to be, who are you? And do you like yourself? Do you love yourself? What what is, how do you see, so regardless of what happens to you, are you in a content place? Are you in a good place spiritually? Are you in a good place emotionally? What is going on? And that's really where the lift, I think the major lifting is going to be in those kind of places. So again, I don't get, a lot of people, when they talk about things that I think a little too material, and it might be just because I'm older, 'cause again, it was weird this week, like, my daughters were recognized, my oldest daughter, and my youngest daughter were recognized for their scholastic achievements, and certainly, honored in certain ways because of it. And as much as and I didn't even know, because when you look at the resume of what they did, and I'm like looking at them, it's like, wow, you guys have really done a lot. It's certainly, there's a lot to be proud of there. But at the same time, there's a piece of me that's saying that's all nice, but I'll trade all that for simply for them to be people, good people that do the right things, do right by other people, love one another, and just, if, from my religious tradition, just be more Christ-like in terms of how they conduct their lives.
Hmm.
That's really more important to me than any of the goals or accomplishments or the money that they're going to make in the future and all those kind of things. Because again, all those things, again, my faith informs me of that. You can have all what promises you gain the whole world, but then you lose your soul in the process. So I think for me, the real ambition, I think, should be something on the inside. Who are you as a person? Are you growing in different areas of your life, your health, your mental state, your spirit, your spiritual state? And it's not to say that, again, having those things is bad in and of itself. There's nothing wrong with having money. I'm not one of these guys who's committed to poverty. I'm not a monk or something like that. But I think there has to be a balance to these things. And I think sometimes the over pursuit of certain endeavors at the expense of other things that are just as important. I think those are things that people need to look at in their, goal making process and how they evaluate things. It really has to be about, again, the person that you want to be, more so than the things that you accumulated, what you have. So I guess, David, you're taking over since Pete took a break. So I guess
No, no, I will say
Yeah, I
this.
just needed a second.
I'm glad you mentioned it that way, because that was something that I've been observing when I decided to take a break of helping to train other people in the fitness journey out here in New York City at a point in time. Because in that same mindset you had, I had the same mindset. What's your actual goal? Some guys had a goal either for health reason because of what they got from the medical doctor checkup they went through. I get it. But when it comes to the females, what I've observed is it's a mixed baggage. Some are, I hate to say it, it's not like they were chasing a dream, they were chasing an image. They want to clone themselves to someone that they're not, and not realize it's not healthy. So I'm glad you mentioned it. It's not about day one day. What's your end goal? What are you trying to accomplish or achieve? Because anyone who want to think weightlifting and weight training is not that simple. But also, if you're not well knowledge about what you're doing, you can actually hurt yourself in the process. It's safe to say, Mr. Bennett, you know that's what I do. Some people willing to cut corner to achieve so-called big muscles, which can lead to a major downward spiral if not careful.
yeah,
And it's something even I, I try not to act like I didn't see it while I was in the gym, but I saw a few fellow what actually was juicing just to get big muscle, and I'm looking at them like, Do you not realize though you idolizing had it worse doing the same path you're taking? Like, what's the purpose of that? So it bugged me. So that question always comes to my mind. I don't think it's a day one day issue. What were they trying to achieve?
David, I'll give you a great example. Like I hear it all the time. A lot of people want like uh I can't remember his name. The actor who plays Thor, his arms have his arm and Chris Evans' chest, and they're making all this thing. But in reality, you cannot have that. It's envy. It's body envy. It's called actually. Same thing with beard. Like I wish my beard was so long, to the length like the Kronos beard. Like I always keep saying, I'm gonna go and do a Kronos beard one day, and hopefully my beard will grow that far long. David, I will. You know what?
You've reached your limit on talking. Shut the fuck up.
Boom, blazing middle finger.
So I don't want to get, and it's this thing called beer envy. Yes, you heard me right. It's called beer envy. It's a real thing. I'm not even joking. Like
Really? There's beer envy out there.
yeah, it's a real thing. I'm not even joking. I'm not shitting you one bit, bro. It's a real fucking thing. When I heard of it, I
Interesting.
fell out of my chair the first time. Too. It's about 3 or 4 years ago. I heard it first. Like it's such thing as beer envy. I'm like, yeah, people are jealous of other men's beard. It's a thing that's straight through. Like there's long beards who grow long.
Okay, well, okay.
I'm sorry, Wally.
No. Because when I thought of you saying beard envy, I'm thinking like, okay, so wait a minute, other men with beards are having like envy of other people's beards, or you talking about in general, like certain people that can't build beards?
It can go either way. So it can go. Some people who cannot grow a beard. Some people want a certain style of the beard or a certain look to their beard. It has to go to like Dancy Beard. He says it perfectly better than I can. He wants his beard a certain way, but he knows his beard doesn't grow like that. Excuse me. So that's the envy comes out of it. Kind of make sense?
Yeah, but you just said something right there. You said there's some people out there who have beer envy. And that's safe to say there are a lot of people, especially from the opposite sex, they have body envy.
I said that before too. When you want to assert,
Because this way you have the BBL movement going on. Because they can have a certain shape. They're willing to risk their life to get that particular shape.
yeah. The plastic surgery shit, I think, is bullshit. It should never be a thing. If it's not medical reason behind it, I don't think you should be able to get it. Give me natural, raw, no makeup on. I think that's best, and I think Paul will agree with me with that one.
But again, I'm in a different like, look, if my wife and she's talked about it, she wouldn't mind getting a little tuck here, a little, just nothing drastic.
Yeah, of course.
You know, she got the, certain things. If you don't want that, then if she wants to do it, I wouldn't be so overly. It depends. Like, would you be if let's say if your woman you were with, if she says she wanted implants, would that be a deal breaker for you? Would that be a something I'm asking. I mean, it's a Wally too. I mean,
Yeah, you asking me?
I asked. Hang on. Let's
Okay,
ask
well,
Wally. Let's ask Wally. Wally. So your lady, your weather and everything is good, but she says, I maybe just want a little extra. You know, would you be opposed, or what would you think of her if she said she wanted implant and she had the money to do it? Would you be so opposed to that if she wanted to go for that? Would you care?
Okay, so I'm gonna say it like this. One and foremost, didn't I or did I not got with you without them? If the answer is yes, then what more do you need? I'm just gonna be honest from that standpoint. Now, granted, look, for her own affiliation, by all means, do as you please. That is yours. But it ain't gonna feel the same if you get them. I ain't gonna lie.
Hmm.
But hey,
It
You
makes
don't, so
sense. I can
you
agree
don't
with
think
it.
the relationship would survive?
I wouldn't say it wouldn't survive because again, that's just that. But it's like me knowing that it's there, I'm just not pleased with that.
I'm
So
not
would you be on?
like,
So would you be honest? Because you just said, look, if that makes you feel good, go ahead, do it or whatever. But if that's how you truly felt, then why not just say just come out with that?
Or when I'm, well, why not say my own true opinion? Oh no, I will always say my true opinion. I will always let it be known, like, hey, look, okay, you want my opinion? This is my opinion. Now I'm not gonna stop you to do what you do. That's again, that's your life. Do it as you wish, do
Hmm.
as you please. I'm not gonna stop you from doing it. You're your own person. But understand it just won't be the same. I'm not, because I know it's there. I'm not feeling that.
Hmm. So you
Can I
I
answer
don't
that
need you. I
question?
didn't need you to do any much more than what you already had. When we came and we were right there and this and that, I knew what you had. I know what you're working with. I didn't walk away. I was good with what you had. Like,
so wait a
come
minute.
on
So
now.
so
Like,
okay. So wait.
now if you feel
So let's just say you're all right. Again, I don't know. You know, you seem like a pretty self-assured, self-confident guy. But what if you went on your own fitness journey? And let's just say you went and you did a body, but you did it through hard work and sheer effort. Like we've seen it, like you've had couples, two couples get together, they're both overweight. Then one gets the motivation to go and lose all this weight, lose 50, 60, 70 pounds, 100 pounds, or whatever. And now it's like the relationship is such because now it's like either the other person, they may still be rocking with the other one, but the other one's feeling intimidated by the fact that, oh, this person, we used to be fine and everything, and now they eat differently, and we can't go to certain places and do certain things or whatever. So again, you could go on that same kind of transformation, but if you're saying that basically the person who you met them, they basically got to kind of stay the way they are. If I met you that way, you stay that way. That is, I guess that goes both ways also. So when a woman meets you, you're not gonna go on some sort of fitness journey or whatever to transform your body then, because you'll basically be another person than you were when she first met them. I guess I'm just trying to
okay,
figure
well
out what
then,
the
so
degrees are here. I'm just trying to
all
get a
right.
better
So look,
understanding.
so based upon what you just said there, right? What I'm saying is this, right? When I say, when I met you, when we talked, everything of that nature, and I knew what you were working with, and I still dealt with you from there. That means there was nothing much more of a, because again, this is your question. Your question was if she felt like she needed an adjustment because she didn't love her appearance at that point in time. Again, by all means, go do what you wish to do. That's on you. I'm not gonna control your body. That's not really my place. I really don't care. That's not my place. But honestly, for me, it was never nothing for me that made me feel like, oh, I didn't love your body the way it was at the point of when we were in the relationship right then and there. Meaning at the tone it was, however it is. There was nothing about you needed improvement, nothing of that. I never felt that way about you. I'm never gonna tell you that either, because again, why would I be there if I need to tell you that? That's stupid. So that's what I'm saying. I think it's again
Hang on, you said why
that
would you
also
tell
goes
her
to a
that?
point of, huh?
Would
Well,
you?
yeah, no, because my thing is again, I said why would I tell you that? Because in a sense of like, again, if I'm there with you in a relationship, that means I love what I see. I wouldn't tell you, oh, you need an adjustment. That's stupid.
so if
Well,
we're
no,
to,
of course not. If you know what you love what you see, but you would still tell her, that she's doing it for you, right? I mean, you would still compliment her and tell her how good she was as is, right?
Yeah, of course. I always
Okay,
make
okay. No,
sure she's felt comfortable by
I
herself.
thought I was hearing something. I thought I was hearing something different. So just
so
wanted to.
No. That's really what I was saying. Like, no, because I at that point, if I'm loving you where you're at, like already as it is, right? Of course, I'm always gonna be on you. Like, I love you. Like, I enjoy what you are. Like, that's just what it is.
Mhm.
so personally,
Let me ask you that question
right.
because what Mr. Paul Bennett, but when he break down on his questioning, it's very very tricky, and I'm glad he said it that way because in my mind when he mentioned that question and he brought out the criteria, if you two couple who was fat decide to lose weight, one lost 50 to 100 pounds looking for them, but the other one feel kind of intimidated. I question the emotional foundation on that part because In most cases, we've seen that it's because of medical reason they decide to lose weight, and that is more common in this country, whereby certain people body mass or body structure cannot maintain that weight class on them because it causes a lot of medical harm. So that's the first I'm going to ask. But in the initial question about if my woman want to do plastic surgery, the question I'm going to ask her is this: if we have talked about this and we know that this path brings a extra huge load or emotional baggage, and not only emotional baggage but physical baggage, would it be fair if I do the same to you? We will say it that way because we all know when we enter that particular path or the BBL route, it's not just emotional baggage; it comes with a physical baggage as well. What if where we went to go get done was not done properly? Where would that lead to? Because if guy were to do the same exact thing, you know how women would say, "Oh, we men stress them out in some kind of shape or form." I see that look in your face, Petey. I know you heard that before. So I decided to put an extra emotional
Finish what you
baggage.
said. I got my own opinion on this thing before you.
Yeah, and let's
Okay,
get the lady. Let's get the ladies in here because
Yeah, they're
obviously
going
I feel
next.
like I'm. Yeah,
they go in there 'cause that's my thought part. 'Cause I found that it's a very trick question. It's a very good question, but it's a question I think we need to have a show on based on later on in the time because I feel in the relationship dynamic there's a lot of mistreatment taking place on both
that
ends.
is a good show.
My
Yeah,
thing,
just
my thing, I don't believe in BBL. It's
yeah, but
no, no,
that
no.
is. I don't know if you want to do that as a gray area or a Tuesday show, but that is body transformation or drastic body transformations or
We can have
whatnot.
that
That might be a
conversation
decent
on
topic.
our one of our meetings. So yeah.
Yeah, we can talk about it. Yeah.
So
That's my thought process.
it really depends why she's doing it. If she's doing it for medical reasons, fine. I can't argue that. But if she wants to do it for herself, just for hell of it, and for no rhyme or reason, yeah, like, we need to have a long conversation about this. It's not only going to cost money;
Okay.
it's going to cost time and effort and all this stuff, recovery, all that shit. It's not like a tattoo that's going to heal in 3 or 4 weeks. This takes a couple of months to heal sometimes. So that's a conversation we need to have. I think a fair conversation is fair enough before I say yay or nay on that. And we both have to
What
both
medical?
agreement on that. Go ahead, Wally.
No, because when you said it could help medically, what medical help?
Thank you. I'm
Really?
thinking the
You really
same
want to hear
thing.
it?
What
Okay.
medical reason?
When a woman,
Oh no, I would love
hey.
to hear.
When a woman's, Buzumum's already too big, she might have to shrink them down.
Mhm.
Oh,
Okay, now that part that's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah, or
I
right,
did it.
if you had or if she had breast cancer and she had
Mhm.
and she has to get the
Oh yeah,
surgery.
yeah.
But let the ladies chime in on this one. I mean, this is this.
Alicia, because she has more experience in
That's
this
a,
than I do.
Yeah. So actually, I had to actually go through this personally with my physical appearance. Uh, I had to actually, thankfully, I didn't, but I already knew what choices I had to make if I ever had to get the mastectomy. And I would definitely get them reconstructed, and that would be my choice, you know? Um, but there's many other reasons too, like physical things that take on the part of your chest, where it could physically, you could be in pain, back pain, walking, any surgeries. And to me, like, it's my body, like, unless there was a significant reason that a guy was telling me, no, you cannot do it, it's my body. I'm going to do what I want. I'm like, I even had to go through my hair loss recently. So that was another part of my physical appearance. And I had certain people tell me certain things. And again, I like to stick to what's going to make me feel comfortable because I really, really, my hair loss, Thankfully, I didn't have to have a mastectomy, so I didn't have to go through that feeling. But I went through a whole feeling with my physical appearance with my hair loss. And there was months people were trying to tell me, just be yourself, just be yourself. I would not go anywhere without my wig on. It was just my hair was always long. Um, it was just a part of me as a person to make myself feel better.
Mariana, you're up. What you got on this?
I'm sorry, I had to leave because I had a static on my end. What was the question? I'm
You
sorry.
good? So we were talking about a BBL. It's pretty much how BBL stands for plastic surgery, pretty much.
Okay.
I had, and my personal opinion, like I said, if it's not a medical reason, I don't see why it needs to get done. But
Yeah.
if it's for other reasons, I get it.
Okay.
Alicia, obviously, share her story because you know her in her journey and everything. What's your opinion behind that?
Me personally, I know this is a big trend, but it's also kind of caused a lot of injuries on women, which I don't understand that. I don't know what's so fascinated about it. Like it's
Hmm.
getting to the point it's getting very extreme, I will say. Um even older women, which I'm kind of surprised. I thought I expect maybe younger women, but even older women, like I would
Older are
say
more
mid
into it than
50s.
younger.
No, even older women like mid 50s, 60s started
No, no,
to
I'm not
get
arguing that. I said
BBLs.
older women are more into it than younger.
Yeah, I would think it
Really?
makes more sense than, well, one, you have the money. You know, a lot
Yeah.
of times when you're older like that, gravity tends to set in, I guess, when you get a bit older as well. So
Yeah.
even more so, you know, you start to see those changes, and that's why you start getting the Botox and you start getting certain things
Yeah.
when things start. So I could definitely see it happening as much with older women as I do with the younger ones. I can't see like an 18 or 21-year-old doing it, but certainly a woman. You had your kids post pregnancies and all that, and I could certainly see a woman
Yeah.
wanting to do it when she's older than
10
younger.
seconds, they're doing that in Orlando, Florida. 16, 17, 18 getting breast implant. I saw that
I know. I'm
yesterday.
just saying that to me is more extreme than like a 50-year-old woman who decides, you know what, I have my babies. I want to, kind of reimagine myself a little bit and wanting to do some things. To me, it would make more sense then than a teenager, God forbid, getting that kind of surgery done. To me, it's much more
So
understandable
I
with an
just
older
looked it
woman.
up. Most likely between 26 to 35 were are the average right now, but
Hmm.
sometimes the second rounding of the average is 40 45 to 55.
Yeah,
Um, it's usually those are the two averages. People, it depends which scale you want to look at.
yeah, that makes sense to me. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Oh, the 45 to 56 doesn't make sense. The 36 to 45, not really. Least common is 36 to 35, they said. And 18 to
Hmm.
25 is like rare.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
now,
go ahead.
Pete, now you did mention something earlier. Now you mentioned the whole tattoo thing. To me that's plastic surgery. In my view, I think that's a pretty drastic change. Also, so let's say if you guys came in tatless, and then you just decide, you know what, I think I want to get a big tattoo over here or something. I mean, that's a radical change too. So yeah.
Hmm.
So if your wife, so again, what's the difference between that? Either you do a drastic weight loss or weight gain. Look, I'm 80 pounds heavier than when I graduated college. 80 pounds I put on since college, right? So you could say, yeah, I went through a definitive change from where I was back then. Or if a woman decides to get implants or some sort of plastic surgery, or somebody just decides all of a sudden you want to get tattoos. I'm just going back to Wiley's point where he said, look, I loved you when we hooked up. I liked you just right where you were. If I didn't, I wouldn't have got with you. You good with me, but you decide at some point in your life that you need to make some radical changes, drastic weight gain, weight loss, tattoo, plastic surgery, whatever it is. So I think, anybody can find themselves in that situation where it's like they just feel, just for their own self image, that they just want to do something different than what they've been doing before. And like I said on another show, you talk about older people again, people getting tattoos like later in life. Like I used to think a tattoo would be a young thing, but you got 50-year-olds getting their first tattoo, and
Bro,
then
I'll
all of a
give you
sudden
one
a
a better
year
one for
later they
you.
got 5 tattoos.
I'll
I
give you a
mean,
better one for you. My godfather, he got half a sleeve. Get ready for this at 75.
Damn.
What world do we live? Yep, we're in the Twilight Zone. Yep, yep, yep.
Yeah, 75.
Wow.
But my godfather was always the kind of guy, he was always ripped. He was like you, Paul. He's always working out, always watching his eating. That's his military background when he was in the Navy. So that never left him. And when he did, yeah,
That's different.
hang on. When he did hair removal, that one blew me the fuck away. I'm like, he literally removed laser removal, everything. He hated hair always. Then the tattoo was the next thing. And when he saw me, my mom goes, "Oh, your godfather's gonna kick your ass." I'm like, no, he won't. And he goes, "Oh, don't worry." He goes, my mom goes, "You gotta be fucking kidding me! I can't walk in winter here." Because she thought he was gonna talk me out of getting more tattoos. Only had 2 at a time, and he had tattoos. He goes, "Oh, well, I give up here."
yeah, it can certainly come later. It can certainly come later.
Yeah. So, well, the tattoo here thing is to me, it's not plastic surgery; it's more art. I'll be honest with you.
It's not plastic surgery.
I don't think
It's
so.
a
No.
it's
More
a
like
drastic
cosmetic.
body modification.
Am I,
Well, so is aren't implants? Aren't they? Isn't that cosmetic too?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
but it's different kind of cosmetic.
Yep.
And the cost to
Really?
later remove a tattoo is even worse.
Actually,
Because
when you remove a tattoo, it never goes away. You leave a scar.
Mhm.
so you talk about permanent. Even if you get breast implants, you can get those removed. So I'm just saying. I mean, to me, a tattoo is probably the most radical of procedures to get because everything else is reversible, but a tattoo essentially is not. So, but
And the,
you know,
and y'all did a show about tattoo, and some tattoo is based on the culture you are in.
Oh, absolutely,
Meaning,
absolutely.
I remember I spoke about it. African culture, they do have a type of tattooing going on, but I doubt the book because I didn't want it. Now, if I was Samoan, there's no way I can talk myself out of it because I don't want to get exiled.
Same thing
Samoan,
Japanese, bro. Like a lot of Japanese
whew,
have tattoos, but they do it like the old school
yeah,
hammer way.
but the Japanese tattooing is based on clan and based on hierarchy.
I'm not
Some
disagreeing with that, but they do it also the old school way. I mean, like
that,
with the
but that's
hammer and everything.
their culture. That's over 1,000 year plus history.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you,
Samoan
I'm good.
Samoan is almost close to that, but they tattoo differentiate which tribe they are in.
Yeah.
So that's why I think cultural tattoo I can't compare to cosmetic tattoo. I can never do so because you're talking about a over 1,000 year culture that have been long before civilization existed, and I can't put my word on that because that have a foundation compared to cosmetic tattoo that people all trying to get into. 'Cause I heard a joke. People trying to get aging letters on their body, but don't know what it actually means, and they find out you put the wrong meaning on your shoulder or your back or whatever. That's not what it actually means.
Oh yeah, definitely I understand that. With my Japanese letters on my arms, my instructor wrote them down for me because he's Japanese and he have
Yeah.
Chinese. So either way, I'm straight. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to put like, hey, eat dick or some shit like on my arm. You know what I'm saying? I know
that
people.
was a that was a thing for a time though. There was a something. David remembers this back in the '90s. You had a trend where you had these guys getting because they thought it looked cool. These Japanese characters, Hitagata characters, on their bodies, and they weren't being told what they really meant. And yeah, I mean, no research whatsoever before they went in there. They just said, "Hey, I just want to look cool, whatever." So that was a thing where these tattoo artists were getting stuff put on them, putting stuff on these folks, whatever. And
Bro,
it so
my instructor, I'm not joking. What guy walks in with a Japanese tattoo? He goes to me like, is he trying to be funny or is he trying to, be stupid or something? Like, why are you saying that? I go to him. You know what his arm says? Like, no. Like, he like take it up a butt. I'm like, seriously? Like,
Oh my
does he know that? Like, I'm
Yeah,
about to take
that's
that.
foul, man.
And this is
That's
the
foul.
early 2000s, in the late 90s and early 2000s. It was a trend. Like,
He made this shit up.
like my instructor goes up to him and goes, young man, he goes, do you know what your arm says? Yeah, he says, he goes like, what did he say? I can't remember. He said, the power of something. He said. He goes, no, he's like taking up the rear. He goes to him. He goes, what? And like, you don't know what you're talking about, man. Like, well, I think I do. I'm half Japanese and I'm half Chinese. He goes, so I speak both languages fluently. So if you don't want to take my advice, go to any Chinese place and ask him. 3 days later, he comes back. He goes, you're right. He goes, but let's get our final thoughts in. Let the ladies goes first. So we have Mariana, Alicia, uh, David, Wally, and Paul. Your last. That's cool, guys.
This was an interesting topic. I know I came a little late. Um, but yeah, I wish I came in early, but I had to take care of myself first. Um, as I say, I could hear a little background noise. I'm sorry.
I took care of it. Don't worry.
Okay. Um, yeah, just do day one. Take one, one thing at a time. Start being consistent, persistent. Uh, do what you have to do what in order to make you feel better and look better. To take care of your mental and your physical well-being. And I will say BBLs, oh, God help us. Um, if you need it, yeah, but I think I will say I'm a little bit old school way. You know, I don't know, it's more like a self-confidence booster, I will say. Um, but other than that, this is a good topic, and hopefully we hear more something similar like this. And that's about it. Oh my God. Seriously?
Oh my gosh. Yes, so I guess this topic really kind of inspired me in a way too, because one day, day one, it really has affected, those two words really have affected me these past 2 years. Um, when times when I just am not in the right mindset, and I just sometimes I felt like one day I'll do this, I'm just tired, I can't, my mindset's not right. But it really makes me think that going through life just saying one day, and that's for anybody, again, you might not reach your dreams just saying one day I'll get to it. You got to just do it, so I really believe in day one, because if I want things to, sorry, my son, so if I want things to progress for, if you want things to progress for yourself, if I want things to progress for myself, I got to find that motivation. And right now, I'm going to look at that motivation as my son, and I'm going to say, day one, I'm back and I'm ready to like fight and give myself motivation. And I hope those who are similarly struggling in things also find that motivation.
Okay, my final thought. Whew, that was a shocker. How a bunch of idiot get Japanese or Chinese tattoo and don't know the meaning of it. Well, day one day. I won't call it that. I'll call it what's your actual journey and what you're trying to accomplish. And that is something people have to ask themselves or sit down and make note of, because I had to thank my high school teacher who told me that back in high school. Get a small notebook. Ask yourself questions: what you want to accomplish, what you want to achieve, what are you willing to do to get to these goals you want to set for yourself, how much effort you think it would take you to get there, and you do a journey and double check yourself. You see you have accomplished it. I think that's something that we need to start teaching our young generation because one, life is a little bit too easy. Everybody think it's easy to get somewhere. It's not. It takes a lot of work. Like Mr. Paul Bennett or our elders say, easy day make weak people, but hard day make strong people. I'm thinking that needs to be a new criteria for the young generation because if they're not ready right now, this world can flip on anybody here without a given notice. And when it's time to get the hard work, they will punk out. So I'll tell you this right back. Take it from me. Learn to be disciplined. It's not a matter of day one when you have a different mindset. It's easy to get on day one because you force yourself to go through day one all the way to day 60 and day on. That's my final thought.
All right, final thoughts.
Where is Wally?
Look here. All right, look here. Don't you dare. Yeah, out of here. That ain't never gonna
Where
escape.
is Wally? This is not Wally. Where is he?
Look here. My beard will grow as faster than your goatee connects. Okay,
Oh, no,
don't you
you didn't.
start.
No, you
Don't you
didn't.
start.
No, you didn't. It's fighting words right
I
now.
did. Don't you start. Don't you start. Don't you start. Do not
You
you
just
start.
had a good point
Okay,
there
do
for
not
one.
start. The babyface
Whatever. You
assassin
can
is here. All
join
right.
Paul Bennett Club now. Whatever.
Hey, either which way, I still look good. I don't care. I don't care. Now, let me finish, and you sit there and laugh and joke, whatever you want to do. So, final thoughts. One day one. Hey, look, we all start somewhere, right? Your day one will be where you start your path, where you start your journey, and that one day will be where you're able to show everyone your greatness. As simple as that. Do not allow yourself to doubt yourself. Do not allow others to doubt you. Do not allow anybody, because there will be someone in this world that will be right there by your side, motivating you, coaching you up, something of that nature along the way. At the end of the day, it's all about you. If everyone else doubts you, let them keep doubting you, put them in the rear view mirror, and keep going forward. That's my final words. Peace.
Well, first of all, um, I talked earlier about my daughter's accomplishments and the pride that I felt with everything that they were doing and have done. But I must say, I'm a bit taken aback by what I've just seen. That I can truly say that I am bubbling over with joy and just happiness right now that we've once again added another member to the bold and the beautiful, the beneficent, benevolent Ball Brotherhood. That is taking place tonight. And Wally, I give you a warm embrace and kiss on your beautiful bald head. Welcome you to the Redefining Club. So,
No,
so,
we're
so,
gonna keep doing this. I'm
so,
gonna keep
so,
doing this. My
so,
hair will grow back,
so
damn it.
I just can't tell you. I'm like a proud father right now, just seeing your growth. I'm just trying to hold you together right now. It's just I'm overjoyed.
Oh my god! You
This
know what? See, this is why I was
so this
behind the
is
scenes. Lord have
this
mercy.
is I just welcome aboard, sir. And it's good to have someone of your quality and character and knowledge and just everything that you bring to the Sparta HQ network. It just does me proud just to welcome you with open arms. So, with that being said,
Yes, my
Wally here is a
hot
great.
shadow, right?
Wally just left us all with with what really needs to be said here. That oftentimes motivation ultimately is about again what you do. So again, day one, he took a big day one and shaved his head and joined the cause. So this is how you do it. You can think about it, you can contemplate it all you want to, you can have dreams and all that, but until you take that razor or that shaver or the depilator or whatever you're doing to your head, it won't get done. So Wally is a perfect example of what it takes. Sometimes you just have to go and just do it. And I'm just so glad that he decided to do it. Uh, I'm very happy for you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your new look with all of us, and us being the first to be able to see it. Um, This is a great day. This has been a great day. That's all I gotta say.
Oh my
Okay, I
god!
guess that's your final thought, Paul.
That's it. I have nothing else to add. I'm verklempt at this point over these events and you know, sometimes just as Wally told us, sometimes, you know, when stuff's been said, there's no more to be shared tonight. We should just close the show right now
Now, ladies and gentlemen,
and just end it. I mean, this
if
is
I
it.
show up tomorrow with a boy head with no beard, then I'm joining the club too.
I hate you all right now.
All I can say
I
is
might do it
again,
tomorrow
we're
morning. You
looking
might be surprised.
we're looking for a few good men and maybe even some women who are looking to join the
I'm letting
cause,
you guys, don't be surprised. I
join
might
the
do it tomorrow
movements,
morning.
join the movements,
I swear.
join the cause.
Anyway,
Anyway,
you
let's do
lucky
a
I got a
sport.
Bald
sketchy
is
Instagram.
beautiful.
If I shave everything tomorrow morning, I come up with two bald head, with my bald head and Wally bald head, then we
I'm
have to
gonna
change the
fire your
neck.
ass if you do that.
They got to change the neck word. You can't call it Spartan HQ neck. You got to call it the bald head
Look here,
HQ
sir.
neck.
I ain't bald, all right?
Oh, and we got the coach
You've
and
reached your limit on
Coach
talking.
Ferg.
Shut the
We
fuck
get
up.
Coach Ferg in the fold also, and then we also have our affiliates. We got King, the King, and me
Thank you.
also. So again, you know,
If you
Baldum
say
is taking
CQ2,
over.
I'm gonna jump out of my window.
Look,
He's
Oh,
another
I'm
one.
gonna say
CQ,
this one more time,
CQ. I'm telling you,
ladies and gentlemen.
He's bald too. You know that, right?
Understand what
yes.
bald and low cut really means. I'm not bald.
Anyway, guys, let me do a
I
quick
don't have a
schedule update.
signing
Tomorrow
set
night,
overview.
tomorrow night, they're doing Saber
What?
Slayer. Did I say it right or
Saint
wrong?
Seiya. No.
Oh, my bad.
I'm getting bald
And
tomorrow.
Paul and Coach are doing, but the hell? Who's breaking up
Not,
over there?
not me.
I know it's not me either. Bite by bite, building better eating habits. I might have a guest for you guys for that one that can really help with that one. And on this is a show I've been already arguing with somebody. Um, on Saturday, we're gonna be talking about jump the streak. Pretty much. What is it? Oh, here, jump the streak. When a show has too many seasons. That if you remember, Paul, that me and you were talking about that a while back.
Oh, I mean, all the ladies soap opera are in trouble, aka One Life to Live, General Hospital,
Hang on a
Half
second,
the
dude.
World
Ariana, what are you
Gone.
doing on Thursday?
Thursday,
Mm-hmm.
working,
Well, you
and then heading to the gym.
beyond 9:30. Your coaches
Beyond
and Paul's guest this week. I think this is gonna be perfect for you to be attending this part.
Don't put her on
me,
the spot, dude. Don't put her on the spot like that. Please, brother. Mariana, just while you're at the gym or whatever, you can certainly be, you know, listening to us as we try to impart some information. But don't. I don't feel like we're gonna put you on the spot or anything like that.
But anyway, guys, all right. As always, this was the Spartan Institute Network. I am the Spartan. He is Baby Tear, Wally, Mr. President, Alicia, and Mariana. As always, stay fresh, stay safe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.